AI coding frameworks keep multiplying, and every one of them claims to be the best way to build with agents. But the best way to build with agents doesn't entirely depend on the framework you pick. There are other factors people forget to evaluate, and then they get frustrated when the framework doesn't fit their project. But that's not the framework's problem, that's a selection problem. Each framework works well for the use case it was designed for, and there's no one-size-fits-all here. Now, our team has previously covered AI coding frameworks on the channel, but recently we came across one that's been gaining a lot of traction lately. The reason we're making a video on this is not because it's another best framework that is going to cause you to leave the other ones. It's because when we tested it, we found it to be genuinely different, and it fits use cases that these frameworks don't. We've covered multiple frameworks in previous videos like BMAD and Superpowers. Picking the wrong one means you're either over-engineering or under-preparing. Today we're going over this framework called GSD, which is short for Get Shit Done, and you'll understand why. By the end of this video, you'll understand where to use which framework. Starting with the first one, which is GSD. You use GSD where you aren't really sure what to build and you don't want to pre-plan everything because the requirements might change in the future. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't know what to build at all. It means that the product you want requires a lot of experimentation in each step. This is great if you want to quickly build out MVPs for experimental projects as quickly as possible. With GSD, it does ask you about a broader scope, but unlike the BMAD method, it doesn't really lock you in. Using the initial scope, it plans each implementation step by step. This means that you're not locked into the later phases because they have not been pre-planned by the system in extensive detail. So if you're building a custom solution that hasn't really been built before, it would be better if you go ahead with GSD. Let's say if you were building an on-screen interview assistant like Cluely, you would need to figure out a lot of things as to how the user experience would look like or how to make sure that all screen sharing platforms don't detect it during screen sharing. A lot of things might need experimentation with no way to determine them before the planning. BMAD, on the other hand, takes the opposite approach. It's a step-by-step framework that creates thorough documentation for each phase before implementing anything. You need to be sure about what you're building at the very start, and it's not like it messes up. It has a whole research department as a module where the creator of BMAD has poured in all the context about these different roles, such as a business analyst and design thinker, that make sure that the product you want to make is thought about from all angles. But it's all preloaded, and based on that, you make your PRD and architecture documents, and then based on those, you get sharded tasks that the implementation team just needs to follow. When we made our video on the BMAD system, we praised it because of how locked up it was. The system is so well built in the prompts that it doesn't really let the agent deviate from the tasks. But over an extended period of usage, we've noticed that when you actually need a change in the requirements, that is when the system becomes unstable, because even the best of the models actually miss little details when changing the requirements. Another complaint that people mention is that it takes too much time to plan out everything before any implementation actually starts, but that's because it shouldn't be used for those sorts of projects. You should be using it when you're absolutely sure of the requirements and just want the system built without any loopholes in it, because all the specs that it makes are heavily interlinked. Or when you want to build conventional systems such as a custom CRM solution for a client or your own custom community platform. Now, Superpowers is based on TDD, and the whole point of the ideology is that you know what you are building. TDD is important where the cost of an edge case is too high to miss, and this cost doesn't include a simple Stripe integration with a Next.js app, but let's say something like an agentic platform where AI agents take actions on behalf of your users and a wrong action can't be undone and is too costly. In terms of usability, it's like GSD where the planning is done feature by feature with just an outline of what the project needs to be. But since tests are generated first, it doesn't really give you that room to experiment with different things and isn't ideal for projects where the planning is done beforehand. But another thing that you can do is that if the project lies in both domains, is that you can implement a version of the project with GSD where the main functionality is completed, and then you can continue the rest of the app by onboarding Superpowers on the app. We do have separate videos on both Superpowers and the BMAD method, and they would be linked down in the description below if you want to explore these in more detail. GSD was also built with preventing context rot in mind. By using subagents, spawning separate processes for isolated tasks, keeping the main agent's context clean so that it can focus on what actually matters without drifting. Majority of the AI coding agents now support subagents, so it doesn't matter if you use Claude Code with this or not. But Claude also received another update recently, the new Opus 4.6 with a 1 million context window. So a lot of techniques that we've taught on this channel to actively manage your context don't really matter that much anymore. So to install it, you're going to copy the command and paste it in the project folder where you are working. Then select which agent you want to install it for. In my case, it was Claude, so I installed it it for that. You then have to choose what should be the scope of the installation. I prefer project level because each project may use a different framework, and this keeps the configuration scoped to the one chosen for this project. Since we were using Next.js for building, we installed it in our newly initialized project. And once installed, the GSD framework should show up in your .claude folder in the form of agents, commands, and hooks. If you're not using Claude, they will be stored in the .agent folder in the root of the project. It has multiple agents intended for different specific tasks, but unlike normal Markdown-based prompts, everything is structured in XML format, and this is done on purpose. Claude models are known to work better with XML formatted instructions since it lets them parse the structure more easily. So it's a performance optimization towards whatever agent that you're using. But before we move forwards, let's have a word from our sponsor, GenSpark. Most people are currently stuck juggling multiple AI subscriptions, paying individual fees for ChatGPT, Claude, and various media tools. GenSpark is an all-in-one AI workspace that hit $200 million ARR in just 11 months by consolidating everything into a single subscription. It uses a super agent system to choose the best model for any task. It handles your entire workflow, from building AI slides and automating AI sheets to generating AI media and even making real-world phone calls with the Call for Me feature. You can even turn your research into AI pods to listen to on the go. Plus, use Speakly to turn a 15-minute recording into 3,000 words of perfect text instantly. The wildest part, GenSpark offers unlimited AI chat and image features throughout 2026. Nano Banana 2, GPT Image, Flux, Seedream, Gemini 3.1 Pro, GPT 5.2, Claude Opus 4.6, and more top models are all included with unlimited access. Hit the link in the pinned comment to start building with GenSpark. To start using GSD, you're going to use this new project command. By running this command, the agent started working according to the initialization prompt and started with exploring the code base first. Since I had initialized the Next.js app already, it detected that there was code present and asked if it should explore the existing code base first. We told it to skip the mapping to avoid wasting time. If you were working on an existing project, it would be better to ask it to map the code base first, but since it contained the blank template, I skipped it. After that, it will ask you to tell it the app idea you want to work on. After which, it asks a lot of questions regarding the target audience of your app, its features, the scope of the project, and more. But the question-answer session GSD conducts is noticeably different from that of the Superpowers. Superpowers try to extract edge cases from you during this phase. GSD does not, and it focuses more on understanding what to build, not stress testing how it might break. Once it gathers enough information from the session, it creates the project.md inside the .planning folder, which contains the description, out-of-scope items, context constraints, and key decisions all deduced from the questioning. But here's where the context rot prevention shows up in practice. It keeps project.md deliberately short and focused, so the agents wouldn't deviate from the main aims by getting buried in documentation. It tracks all the work through Git, but it doesn't use a straightforward Git commit. It runs a script underneath that performs checks before committing, ensuring everything is up to the standards before actually using Git to commit. Once planning was done, GSD moved to the research phase. It spawns multiple agents researching different aspects of the app in parallel, all running in the background. After the research completes, the research synthesizer agent kicks in. Since all these agents are tuned to use appropriate models for the tasks, the synthesizer agent uses the Sonnet model, not the heavier Opus. GSD has a proper reference mapping each subagent to the right model based on the weight of work it handles so that it doesn't waste extra efforts. It condenses the research findings and also flagged potential issues, things to watch out for that could hinder the work long term. After the research is synthesized, the requirements stage begins. It asks you targeted questions about the MVP, identifying which features are truly essential for version 1. Because GSD is focused on fast delivery, it makes sure V1 contains only what is necessary. After it confirms the MVP with you, it then generates the roadmap structure, which you have to approve. And your approval marks the project initialization as complete. Also, if you are enjoying our content, consider pressing the hype button because it helps us create more content like this and reach out to more people. Now that the initialization phase is over, the next step is to implement the plan. In the previous phase, it had broken the project down into 4 phases based on the requirement. It will give you 2 ways to work: either skip discussions or proceed with discussions. Discussion for this framework means questioning sessions with the agent where it ensures it understands the plan properly. We chose to discuss first so that we can clarify the requirements as much as we can, but you can choose to skip discussions if you think the previous questioning session was enough for it to build the app. Once the discussion session is over, it creates a context.md file in the phases folder inside the .planning folder. This file contains all the details of what we have discussed and mapped the phase phase we just talked about with the agent. But true to GSD's philosophy, this file is also concise in length so that Claude can stay focused on what actually matters. Next, you begin the planning of phase 1. The planning phase starts with the research based on the context.md file it just created, using a dedicated research agent with the Sonnet model exploring different aspects. But we thought it would use context 7 or actually look up against the docs properly. Instead, it was using web search with the year 2025 in the search keywords, which it shouldn't have been doing. It would have been more controlled if we had connected context 7 MCP so that its research was better grounded. So when you are using, make sure to connect with such MCP for better grounding. It created a research.md file and documented all of its research, including the confidence level for its research, which indicated how trustworthy are its sources. After the research, it created a plan. These plans listed in detail the dependencies of each phase and all the requirements with proper IDs. But here's the thing. This is where GSD is different because instead of just writing the plan one way like others do, it actually cross-verifies the plan across multiple dimensions and validates whether the plan is actually implementable and aligned with the goals. It uses dedicated planning and verifying plan agents, where the planning agent creates the plans and the verifier keeps checking them, sending warnings back. So it basically performs the adversarial planning on its own without us having to control any of that manually. Once the plan was final and all the steps had passed, it committed and broke the plan down into 2 waves. It actually breaks down into as many waves as required and parallelizes those that are independent so that subagents can handle them in parallel. It started implementing the project waves using the dedicated agent to carry out the plan it created. Once it is finished, it verifies the checkpoint using proper Playwright testing underneath, creating scripts, deleting them after using to clean the folder, and performing multiple automated tasks under the hood. It then gave us a summary of what was built and provided instructions on how to verify it for ourselves. The first iteration builds the app that is just a placeholder, with all the initial elements visible to show how the app would actually look. Further iterations will build one aspect of the app at a time, leading to a complete app at the end of the cycle. The entire iteration used 138,000 tokens, which was actually not much given a 1 million token context window. But with an agent with a 200,000 context window, it would signal that it's time to compact. But since this relies on documentation of phases, even if we clear the context, the agents would know where to start. When we approved the work, it ran multiple tests and marked wave 2 as complete as well. After that, it spawned the GSD verifier again and cross-checked whether the implementation actually matched the initial goal. Once verified, it marked phase 1 as complete, including the verifications, and prompted us to proceed to the next phase of the application. Now, once we ran the app through all of the phases, the previously placeholder features were all functional and working as intended. GSD works well when you're working on a large-scale application with multiple features, but it's overkill if the app you're building is much simpler and doesn't need the heavy lifting. For simpler apps, Claude or any other agent on its own is sufficient and doesn't need this thorough planning. However, if you want controlled execution with proper planning without wasting too much effort on this phase, you should definitely go for GSD. Now, this is one framework, but oftentimes there are use cases where the existing ones don't hold up and you need to build one of your own. For that, you need to know certain principles before actually building your own. We covered those principles in a previous video that would help you build better workflows. You might end up seeing that video on the end screen, so you can just click on it instead of looking it up. That brings us to the end of this video. If you'd like to support the channel and help us keep making videos like this, you can do so by joining AI Labs Pro. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.